Meanwhile, 64 Nizamuddin attendees are yet to be traced in Bengaluru and 64 people's mobile phones are said to be switched off. The BBMP as well as the health officials are now trying to trace these 64 people. Now, because they could be at the highest risk of having contracted COVID-19, the state government is now trying to trace down all those who have attended the Nizamuddin convention. And according to the Intel department, 64 Nizamuddin attendees are yet to be traced and they are in Bengaluru, which means that they are not just risking their own lives and their health, but also all those that they come in touch with. Now, this is the circular that has been issued. Efforts are on to identify these 64 Nizamuddin attendees in the city. The numbers across the state could be much higher. Well, over 200 primary and secondary contacts have now been shifted to the quarantine center. Over 20 families have been shifted as precautionary measures and the samples have now been sent for testing. Well, 2 deaths and 21 positive cases have been reported in Vijayapura, and in Vijayapura over 200 primary as well as secondary contacts have been shifted to quarantine center. So the fear is that since all 200 are under observation, the numbers in Vijayapura could go up. There are 20 families that have been shifted as a precautionary measure. The district administration taking all measures to ensure that there is not just distancing, but also those who are at a risk of contracting COVID-19 are quarantined at a facility, which means they will continue to be monitored. Previously, the government had asked those who were under watch to be at quarantine in their own homes, but since there have been a few incidents of people stepping out of their homes in a rather irresponsible manner, now they are being taken to another location where officials also keep a check on them round the clock. So in Vijayapura, 20 families have been shifted as a precautionary measure. Let's go across to my colleague Adarsh, who joins us live from the newsroom with more details on this. Well, Adarsh, on one hand, previously, all those who were, suspected to have COVID-19 were kept or asked to be at homes, but now they have all been shifted to a quarantine center where they will be monitored by the officials. But this also raises fears in Vijayapura. What if, any of these 200 people have tested positive for COVID-19?
Well, Pratibha, that is really the big question going forward. But the district authorities in Vijayapura are not leaving anything to chance. At this point in time, they have in fact translocated 200 people from across the district to various, in fact, one certain quarantine center which falls outside the district itself, in the sense almost on the outskirts of Vijayapura. So that is where 20 families have been shifted at this point in time, and all of them were shifted in government buses. And this is in a sense a precautionary measure that is being taken on the ground to ensure that nothing is left to chance. Now, there is a possibility that these primary and secondary contacts of various patients from the district may be positive, may have contracted COVID-19, and because they're not able to maybe keep a tight noose on wherever they may be, they have in fact brought all of them together, about 200 of them, and have transported them, taken them to a certain quarantine center where they will obviously be closely watched. A close tab will be kept on them, and you will also have tests that will take place just to ensure that none of these 200 odd people may have contracted COVID-19. Suppose if a few of them or one or two of them may have COVID-19, then letting them be in their respective areas would be a little more dangerous, because they may venture out and eventually spread the virus to other people in the surrounding areas. So it is in a sense a precautionary measure that the authorities are taking on ground to ensure that they are not there at their usual places, in their usual homes, in their usual spots, but are all taken to a separate place and subsequently taken care of. Pratibha.
Well, due to the nationwide lockdown, the busy roads and markets of Bengaluru wear a deserted look. Drone cameras have captured the magnificent view of Namma Bengaluru.